Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of Adam's Advice. You might remember the girl from episode 3 who kept doing things in order to avoid her nervousness. She won the Calmness, but in the end she lost the match. The idea that we need to have the feeling before we act is one of the biggest challenges in our overall tennis development. Because if our feelings take the steering wheel in our life, we keep postponing practices, important conversations with our coach, and overall all of the small steps that will lead you to your hopes and dreams in the future. So oftentimes we're sitting back and we're waiting on the feeling to arrive, because if the feeling is not there, we cannot do X, Y, and Z. Let's take a few examples. First, you need to learn the kick serve. Your coach has told you that you need to be able to push your opponent longer outside of the court with your serve. But you're a little bit afraid whether you're going to learn the kick serve or not. So you do not even try to learn the kick serve. You just stick to your normal serve because you might fail. So in the short term it gives you relief, but in the long term you will not be able to have an essential tool in your tool bag. Second, you're in a group setting and you're clearly one of the best players on the team. You're practicing the slice and you're not really good at slicing, so you just kind of fool around and make it obvious to everyone that you're not really taking it seriously. So you keep your status and your ego, and in the short term gives you relief, but in the long term you're never really gonna have a good slice, which you might need later on in your career. Third, you're back in the group setting once again, and you've been injured in your shoulder for quite a while. The physio has said to you that you cannot serve for another couple of weeks. You get into some practice points, and you've been feeling like the last couple of weeks that your fellow players is getting better and better, and they keep developing, and it's like you're stuck. So you decide, well, I'm gonna try to serve a bit. And you get into it, you play points for half an hour, you serve, and everything is fantastic. You feel like you're developing again, you played well. But then the next day, you feel extremely sore on your shoulder. You see the physio talks to you and said, but I asked you not to play. But then the feelings got the better of you, and in the short term, you got your satisfaction. You were back on track. But in the longer term, it was a really bad decision, because now you need to go back to the elastic band and the mobility work again for a longer period of time. Think about how often all of us are not doing things just because we're scared. And think about whether you regret the most having these unpleasant thoughts and feelings, or you regret the most that you did not act in a meaningful way and in a way that's important for you just because you had those feelings. The problem is not being worried or having a lack of self-confidence. The problem is the way you act or the way that you do not act as a consequence of having those thoughts and feelings. Tomorrow I'm going to talk to you about the birthday party. See you there.